Dear family, friends, and colleagues, this is Richard Solomon, and this is my partner Jackie Saunders, and this will be exercise 28 in our series, Enhancing Human Relationships Through the Fourth R, the Relationship Skills. And in today's episode, we will describe and demonstrate four I'm okay, but you're not okay psychological games that some people play, which you'll be able to see in a handout that we will share with you momentarily. However, before we explain these four I'm okay, you're not okay games, let's define a psychological game from a transactional analysis point of view. So what is a game from a TA point of view? A psychological game is an unconscious and deep-seated script or role that a person plays over and over again because it satisfies their psychological needs until the game itself becomes self-defeating. Now, why do some people play psychological games such as I'm okay, you're not okay? And we have to acknowledge that people play it for good reasons. For example, the first person, the person in the I'm okay, you're not okay position, he feels or she feels powerful. And he or she feels that he's smarter and better than the other person. So he or she gets some reinforcement for being in the I'm okay, you're not okay position. For the person in the not okay position, all they have to do is accede to the wishes of the person in the I'm okay position, and they can get along with that person. So if it works with people who offend you because you think they are not okay, then it's working fine. But many times, people do not appreciate being declared or put in the not okay position. Finally, it's very difficult to change life positions from the I'm not okay to I'm okay because it requires the person in the not okay position to make an existential decision at a particular point in time when they can finally say to themselves and to others, you know what, from now on, I'm okay and you're okay as well. But I'm not going to be playing from the position of I'm not okay anymore. Now, there are four games, which I'll briefly explain on this handout, that people play. Let me show you the handout which you can get. The first one is See What You Made Me Do. The second one is Now I've Got You, you son of a gun. The third one is I'm Only Trying to Help You. And the fourth one is called Lunch Bag. And later on, I'll tell you how you can get that handout for free. So Jackie, why don't you begin and talk about how the game, See What You Made Me Do, is played.
Okay, in this game, See What You Made Me Do, anything that goes wrong has to be your fault because I don't make mistakes. That's what the person would be thinking and saying. One example that actually happened, I was preparing some creamed tomato soup. And with creamed tomato soup, you have to be right there watching it, stirring it, and changing the intensity of the fire underneath it. You have to make sure that it doesn't bubble over and doesn't burn on the bottom. You've got to be stirring. You've got to keep your eye on it. You can't turn for a couple seconds. And one time I was making the soup, and Richard asked me to do something. Come look at this. Come to the table. Help me figure. I forgot exactly what it was. The next thing I know I'm hearing something bubble over the stove, sizzling all over the glass top of the stove. It was a mess. And I said, see what you made me do? I was supposed to be watching this soup, keeping an eye on it. You wanted me to do something else. You distracted me. It's all your fault. And that really did happen. I don't hold it against him all the time, but that particular instance.
Okay, so that's an example of where Jackie is coming from the I'm okay position and the way she treated me, which was appropriate, I felt like I was not okay. Now, the second game is called Now I've Got You, You SOB, or I got you now, you unfortunate person. Now, this is a situation where some people love when others make mistakes, because when others make mistakes, they can say, see, I told you you were going to make a mistake. You don't listen to me, and look what happens. So what's a good example? I have a friend who shall remain nameless, and he has another friend who doesn't like the way he dresses. She tells him he has no taste, he doesn't understand the appropriate ways to attire oneself when they go out. And every time he doesn't live up to her expectations, she tells him how horrible his taste is. And she says to him, I am not going out with you until you learn to dress properly. So she plays the game. Now I got you, you poor dresser. Okay, Jackie, third one.
Okay, the third one, I'm only trying to help you. If my help is not working for you, that's your fault. I'm not guilty. Don't resent me. It's all on you. And the example I'm thinking of is a friend had a son who wanted a very, very expensive bicycle for his birthday. It was way more than the family could afford. But what she told him was, listen, I know you really want this bike for your birthday. Your birthday's a long way off. I will meet you halfway. If you can save up from your allowance, from when you do odd jobs, if you can save up some money for half of it, I will pay the other half, and then you can get this very wonderful but expensive bicycle. And as it turned out, when time came for his birthday, which was, quite a few months away, he had time to save for it, he did not have his half of the cost of the bike. And he was really upset. He said, but I want this bike for my birthday. And his mom said, don't blame me. I'm not guilty. I told you what you would have to do. I was willing to pay for half of it. Don't resent me. If you don't get the bike for your birthday, it's all on you.
Great example. And the fourth example, which I shall find in a moment, is called lunch bag. So what is lunch bag? Lunch bag is the situation where someone tells the other person that they are ungrateful. Ungrateful. I'll give you an example. This is a game that I played making my kids feel not okay, and that's a little sad. But my kids once complained that they had to walk a mile to go to school. A whole mile. Can you imagine? They had to do this. So I, of course, said to them, talk about a mile. My God, I had to walk miles. I had to take a train. I had to take a bus. It took me an hour and a half to get to school. This is the truth. And you are complaining? Now, the reason why it's called lunch bag, which is strange, is because a parent or an adult would say, when I went to school, my mother gave me a lunch bag. You go to school and we give you money to go and have an exquisite meal at the school. But I had a brown paper bag in which to have my lunch. So that's why that I'm not okay, I'm okay, you're not okay game is played. Now,
it's called lunch bag.
It's called lunch bag, right. Thank you. So we invite you to share and discuss the handout that I'll be telling you about in a moment. And see how people play these particular games. And you may find that yourself, you play some of these games too. Now, if you want a copy of this handout, this one that I showed you earlier, just very quickly, I'll show you over here. If you want a copy of this handout, just go to my email address at rdsolomonphd@gmail.com. Or you could take a snapshot or a screenshot of my handout that you could find on my Facebook page. Now, in our next episode, number 29, we'll discuss ways to help people eliminate these I'm okay, you're not okay psychological games from their repertoire. And if you wish to make comments or pose questions about this video or the video series, you can share your thoughts on my YouTube, my Twitter or X page, or my Facebook account. And what we wanted you to know right now is we thank you so very much for taking the time to listen to our videos and reflecting on what we have shared and perhaps discussing with your family, friends, and colleagues about this. And we look